Take your time. I mean,
When markets move, Stephen E. Orr takes the chair. From the White House to Wall Street, he's spent decades at the intersection of policy, markets, and real capital. And he's seen firsthand how institutions use data behind closed doors. Now, as founder of Quasar Markets, his mission is to pull those signals into the open so everyone can see what really moves the markets. This is Stephen E. Orr, BigBeat on Wall Street. Let's filter the future live.
Good morning, Quasar Markets Live. Stephen, about to cough.
yeah. Look, it's that time of year, Howard. I mean, obviously, it's cold. It's cold, man. Even I'm wearing a sweater today. Like, it's a cold down here.
I do apologize. Yeah, the family's got a little sickness going through. We're on a 2-hour time delay on school. It's quite a day up here in Ohio today.
Yeah, Putin just now saying international. Putin now says the international situation is deteriorating. Wow. Is he going to take advantage of that? That's a quick question mark.
What was that one?
Putin says says that the world is deteriorating. The international situation is deteriorating.
Well, you've been saying that for months. We've been saying that for months, and it
yes,
is without a doubt. Without a doubt. We got a lot of stuff to go over today, Steve. We got TSMC earnings, oil's cooling as tensions ease. We got crypto regulations. The clarity bill stalls out as Coinbase pulls its supports. Financials are all across the board on earnings. We've seen some mega cap strength today so far this morning. We got to talk about your favorite short of the day, silver. Greenland and NATO, like you just said, that friction headline risk. I got one on the gambling front for you. DraftKings versus Flutter. Looks like DraftKings is the analyst darling again, and Flutter on the way out. And then Amazon's going to build a sovereign cloud in Europe. Is it a cloud if it's sovereign?
That's a good question. Not really. Yeah, I mean, it's not a
yeah, that one caught me. I was like, wait a second. If it's a cloud, it means it's anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And of course, to start it all off, jobless claims came in at 198K, less than expected there. Prior was 207. Labor's still tight, Steve. What is that telling you this morning? Is that our headline?
You know what? I think the headline is that, yes. And in that aspect, I heard two members of the Fed today say, Bostic being one of them, saying that, okay, well, we still got to stay restrictive. And he's looking at that, right? He's looking at those numbers for labor, and he's saying, okay, yeah, I see the labor numbers. I also see inflation numbers. And now inflation numbers are literally in a situation where they're just still too high. I don't know what he's looking at, to be honest with you. I think Bostic's lost his marbles. Maybe he's not paying attention once again, right? Or you have to think about it from the perspective of what the next level of this is. Are more people losing their jobs? I think the answer is yes, right? I think inflation is a little sticky, but it's not nearly as sticky as it was. So I'm not really sure what Bostic's looking at. Is he looking at data from November that we just got, or is he looking from data from January that we're living in? I mean, I don't know. It's a question mark, right? So yeah, I think we need to look at the data they're looking at. When you have powerful technology like we have in front of us, you gotta look at and say, hey, Mr. Bostic, maybe you should also look at that too, right? And stop looking at the past and start looking at the future, and maybe changing the ideas here. But I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't either. I'm sorry. They're just hold on one second, Steve. I have a little girl trying to enter the room. No, not right now. Sorry about that. There you go. We're back. Steve, I can't hear you. You're muted on me. You're good. There you go. You there now?
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. You're muted on me.
Trying to turn my lights on in my office. Yeah. Got a lot going on.
Alexa's after you, huh?
Yeah. All right, let's get to it. Some stocks. Look, Meta, as everybody knows, I bought yesterday pretty heavy, around 615, 616. That's pretty much, yeah. I mean, I think we go higher, 619, 620. That was one that I looked at yesterday. 97,000 back on Bitcoin here. So, is it risk on, risk off? Almost $8 trillion in the sidelines now, Howard. The most ever. Is we've not hit the highest level ever. So that's in.
Now, who has that money on the sideline? The institutions?
Yeah. Well, everybody, right? It's retail, institutions, everybody. So yeah. 1 second, Howard.
Yep.
All right, dollar is pushing higher here as we not talked about it with Steve Flanagan yesterday. Dixie now sitting at 99.42. He said that very clearly yesterday. That's where we're going to go, and we're not seeing that, right? So I think he's right. I think
rates are up slightly today, about a half a percentage point, 10-year back above 4.15, 4.16 here after the employment numbers came out. So we are seeing that sort of change a little bit underneath the surface so far. You mentioned Bitcoin, Steve. The big news there is the clarity bill, or the lack of clarity bill, is I guess what we have to call it, is stalled out. Coinbase has pulled its support from it. That got it pulled off. I'm going to tell you, this is a bad news. That's good for the industry on the long term. The bill wasn't ready to pass as it needs to be in the way that it was needed to be. So that is definitely the way to look at it here. And that's a positive. So I'm happy with it. Crypto held up, like you said. We need spot buying to step in this morning. Overnight, that run up was definitely perpetual future led. We saw spot step in yesterday. Does it step in again today is definitely the big question there. Steve, banks, what are you thinking here today? Yesterday it was headwinds. Today it looks like it might be tailwinds.
Mergers and acquisitions. Goldman Sachs told you that, right? That was their big play, and they nailed it. They've also said that it's also been driven. Some of the smaller banks have been driven by trading. So you're finding that a lot of these retailers are slipping away from Robinhood and those companies and starting to get back to their banks and starting to trade again through their bank. Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs not being the outlier there. But when you look at it, that's good numbers. That's very good numbers. But is it enough to pretend the future? I don't think it is. I don't think you're going to see a massive move to the upside here. I've not been moving money into financials yet, not mutual funds, not ETFs, not banks themselves. I still think the key here is tech, and Taiwan Semi showed you that today. But no, I don't think banks are the key here right now. I think financial institutions are. There's just too many players now in the game. So yeah.
Right, and as you said, the capital markets are thawing. We're seeing deals and underwriting pick up. Trading stays very healthy, and so far, credit's not cracking. Right. That credit card narrative. It's still a sentiment overhang, but it hasn't done it. Goldman Sachs had the monster profit beat. Their read-through was trading was strong and the deal tape is improving. Morgan Stanley's, their wealth engine investment banking rebounded. So the opposite of what we saw yesterday from JP Morgan, though, and then BlackRock, man, they just keep on going, right? Record money under management, flow strength. And that matters because BlackRock is basically a live gauge of investor allocation behavior, right? That's where the institutional investors, the accredited investors put their money, right? If BlackRock prints strong and holds, it supports the wealth effect narrative. You said you're not buying. Do you like any of those? I'm more on the. I'm more away from the general banks, and I do like the investment bank side. Goldman Sachs, maybe a BlackRock, maybe some of those. Do they interest you? Does one sector of the banks interest you more? I know you mentioned Regions yesterday. RF, I believe, your ticker.
Yeah, I think small banks. I think mergers and acquisitions in the financial industry will be very serious here coming up. I think that's the key to me is how that happens, right? Is it going to be happening by and let's look at it from the perspective of Netflix. They went from, oh, well, we'll buy some of your stock, or we will, how do we do it, right? And then now they're getting down to the nitty gritty and they're saying, okay, we'll do an all cash deal. Well, how do they get that cash? Is it cash in their banks? Is it cash that's been given to them? They borrowing money? How are they doing that, right? And so that's a question you have to ask with these banks. Are they willing to give money? Are they willing to lend money? Do they have the money in the bank to lend? They do, because look at all the money in the sidelines. Well, that money in the sidelines is going somewhere, and that's either in money markets or sweeps, and you're seeing that now. So are they willing to, if you see this massive trading revenue going on through the banks, do they give it to a new company to try to build up to mergers and acquisitions, or do they give it to the retail who are going to go on margin, and it's cheap money, free money, early money, quick money, monthly money, and they're saying, yeah, you know what, I'll lend it out to the retail, and I'll take their money because I know how much they have, and I have access to it immediately. Because you're not going to get access to that money from mergers and acquisitions almost immediately. So yeah, there is a question mark around that. So, and if you don't understand what I'm saying here, ask me, and I'll try to explain it better. But the truth is that money in the sidelines is sitting there for a reason. That they're people aren't willing to trade it. They're not willing to go on margin to go higher or lower. They're just confused. Makes sense. I mean, look at the world that we're living in. We don't know which way it's going to go. One day it's up, one day it's down. It's that fast. But when people are asking about the trading itself, it's not trading as in, oh, I can't wait to make purchases for long term, or I can't wait because I'm looking for a swing trade. The trading we're in right now is we are in a trade where you have to go outsized, meaning big trades, meaning more than you're willing to usually trade, and you have to take less points. So let's say you're looking for 30 points and your small position, you bring 100 shares. Well, nope. Now you're having to go 500 shares and taking just a few points, because that's what the market is telling you right now, and that's what we're seeing now. We're not seeing, and this is not a charting world, by the way. If you're using charts right now, you're probably getting burnt right now, because charts are really kind of been thrown out the door a little bit. Yes, on a bigger scale, yes, maybe, but not the way that the world's trading right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Metals would be another spot to watch for rotation right today. Steve, what are you thinking there?
Well, I think I got it right again. I said silver at 91 is nuts. Anything closing at 100, I mean, that's what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to go after that 100 handle, and the big institutions are like, okay, go right ahead. I'll dump right into you as you do that. And that's what's happened today, right? Probably happened last night. I wasn't sure exactly when, but I've been saying ZSL for how long, beating the desk, going, this is crazy numbers. ZSL now up 11% here. So look, I didn't hit that one, but I've hit almost 21 times in ZSL over the last week. 21 times, folks. That's a lot. I was told the other day it might be excessive. Yeah, it is a little bit of excessive, but it was easy money, right? And excessive makes, and that's what I'm saying. Outsized amounts, small percentages getting out, making money, hitting singles constantly, and I've been crushing it, right? 27 now straight wins now in the markets straight, including this looks like I'm gonna maybe take a profit here in Meta and Bitcoin here at 97.1. So things are looking very good for us right now.
Nice. Okay, let's get the charts up here. We are getting close to 15 minutes from the open so far. Steve, starting on the mega caps, everything looking pretty good. Apple, the only laggard so far, pretty flat on the day. We see NVIDIA catching a little bit of a bid based on the TSMC earnings. We didn't really get into those, Steve. I guess chips are needed, right? AI is not dead yet. TSMC earnings and semis are igniting the market so far this morning.
Yeah, I had a long chat with Dan Ives, as everybody knows, last year about Taiwan Semi. He said buy it. He liked it, and he's right. It's been up, and it continues to go up. And Taiwan Semi. The question I asked him was, is Taiwan Semi as popular in Taiwan, in South Korea, and in the Asian area as NVIDIA is here in the United States? Absolutely, if not more. That's what he said. That was the question. He said, if not more. It's more popular there, and they're buying Taiwan Semi chips over there. So yeah, I think people need to understand that we need chipsets, and people are going anywhere and everywhere they can. If NVIDIA is going to raise those chip prices, then maybe you need to think about it, right? So yeah, no, Taiwan Semi looks really good here, probably even higher.
And they're ripping up about 5% on the
Yeah.
news. Was even up earlier by more. Keep in mind some of the sympathy plays there on the design GPU side. You've got NVIDIA and AMD. On the memory side, MU Micron. And on the equipment picks and shovels, some of the ones mentioned in their earnings reports, ASML, AMAT, LRCX, Lam Research, and CLAC. And all of those are up nicely. CLAC and LRCX both up almost 8% this morning. AMAT also up 7.5%. BigBeat, if you're expressing this theme today, do you like the ETFs or you like stock picking here?
Stock big. It's a stock pickers market. Yep.
Okay. And are you looking, which sector are you looking more at now as maybe the secondary play? Are you looking at the design GPU sector, the memory sector, or the picks and shovels?
Yes, yes, and yes. I think, look, I think Taiwan Semi told you everything, right? I mean, it's telling you that, when you look at the markets, they need more of everything. They need more commodities, more silver, and we know that, right? We know all the things that they need. They need more space. They need more, more workers. It's terrible how much what's needed, right, to make this happen. And you're seeing companies like Meta, Facebook that are pumping the money. Amazon pumping the money. Microsoft's pumping the money into this. And so, yeah, we're seeing that clearly. And so I don't think we're going higher with these things. I mean, it's crazy. Look at CoreWeave today again. My stock. So, we know exactly what's being spent on, and that's where you put the money to. You put the money where things are being spent on. CoreWeave up into 4% today, 2.6 yesterday. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely moving to the upside there. Steve, we had a bunch of data come out today. We talked a little bit. Initial jobless claims, though, came in under expected there. Does that any read there for you, or do you just think people are holding on to their jobs?
It's job hugging. You look, it's exactly what this is going on. Job hugging is a very big thing right now. It's telling you that if you have a job right now, you better keep it, because that's not going to be the case. I just heard from Elon Musk. He just posted a few minutes ago, 10 to 20 years from now, no one's going to be working. You don't need to save your money. What?
Okay.
Wow, Elon.
I can't wait for that. There you go. Just as I'm ready to retire. It's great.
Yeah, that's great from saying it from the richest person in the world, right?
Steve, we also got some other data out this morning. Input prices came up. They came in at plus 0.4% here, versus a negative 0.2 expected. Prior was 0.1. That is definitely an inflation input watch item here. You got to keep an eye on there. I don't see much coverage on that yet. So.
And when the Fed tells you that that's not inflationary, BS, right? That's what tariffs, right? We're seeing that import prices cost us more money, and that's because of tariffs. And tariffs cost us more money, and it costs inflation. I'm sorry. I've heard a million times it's not inflationary pressures. I heard it from the and I don't want to. We don't call the Fed chair names. That's what we don't do it here. But he's wrong, right? There are inflationary pressures from the tariffs, and it's being shown on import prices. That it's happening in real time. Not these numbers aren't in the past. These numbers are happening in real time, folks. I mean, look. I understand the president's disagreements and his understandings of the Fed, and I understand his frustration. He's right. It's very frustrating for him because he is right. The inflation is pushing higher but it's his tariffs.
Yeah.
He's causing this. And the Fed going, well, there's no inflationary pressures on tariffs. Yes, there is. So you both sides are wrong. And it's in how people aren't seeing this is beyond me. It's in black and white. Do you need Chat GPT to help you understand how the economy works? I don't know. And some people need that, I guess. And trust me when I tell you, your charts aren't telling you that, inflationary measures. So, when I look at that, that's why you saw Steve Flanagan tell you the dollar is pushing higher here. So guess what? That also pushes on inflation. So I don't really understand what the concern here is. I mean, people need to understand economics. If you're going to trade the markets, understand economics, at least basic economics.
Right.
Basic economics.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely there.
Somebody dumping Meta.
Yeah, a little bit. That's what I was looking at myself there. We are about 9-10 minutes from the open here so far. We see NASDAQ is the leader into the pre-market here, up about 1 percentage point, almost 1.1%. S&P up about 51 basis points here, looking to be open above 7,000, so pretty bullish there. Dow Jones, the laggard of the group, only slated to open up down, 0.01%. So we got a little bit of a mixed bag. Steve, VIX is cooling off. So after the president, again, tweet analysis versus technical analysis, he says maybe they're stopping killing people in Iran, and VIX is down 5.26% on that news.
Iranians will not stop. The Ayatollah Khomeini will not stop killing. Here's what's interesting. They are rioting in Tehran over things they don't like, and in Minneapolis they're rioting over things they don't like, and the president doesn't like that. The president's okay with them rioting. What is he okay with? I mean, we need to get back to normal here. This world is just getting a little out of whack here. And I understand the chaos. I understand the creation of chaos creates financial bliss for a lot of us. But the world needs to get back to normal. And right now we're not there. Wow, we're hearing reports that Goldman Sachs is looking to raise at least $12 billion in a bond sale. Wow. See, that's what I'm talking about. You're seeing it in real time, where there's money on the sidelines.
Right.
Goldman Sachs saying, yeah, you know what? As a matter of fact, I think I'll take some of that money. That's what's happening. And when I talk about economics in this way, I'm sorry. Yes, I got a higher degree in economics. I understand that. Elevated degree. I understand that. But these are hard ideas to understand, right? So when you look at the money in the sidelines, it's got to go somewhere. Does it go back in the stock market, which I don't think it is? Does it go into commodities, which I think it has? Or does it go into M&A, which I think it's going to, which we talked about? And there it is. And how do they get that M&A? Netflix told you, well, we don't really want to use our shares. I'll just go get cash. Oh, where are you going to get the cash from? Well, the banks, right? Goldman Sachs tells you they're looking to raise $12 billion in a bond sale. Why? Because they think they're going to do exactly what they're asking for. So there it is. It's telling you in real time, folks. And I didn't use a chart to tell me that either.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. We're 5 minutes from the open, Steve. What do you want me to be gauging in on? Are we watching silver on the open? Meta? What are you watching?
Yes and yes. I think both of those. Wow. French President Macron says Europe must develop Orshink-like weapons. Wow. Okay. That's France saying that. Wow. Wow. That's a pretty big deal, because this is not France isn't all of, most people don't know this, but France has nuclear weapons, by the way.
Yes,
I don't know that. They do have their own battery of that. So wow. That is 1,000-mile, 1,000 kilometers, I should say, 1,000-kilometer missile, so that it can protect itself. Wow. Peter Thomas now says that tariffs are not going to be placed on precious metals according to the White House. I wonder why. That's shocking to me. I wonder why. And it shouldn't be, right? That's just silliness. They should not be having tariffs on metals, because it's a metal. We shouldn't tariff it, but I don't know. Dollar pushing higher here, 99.37 here.
Yep, dollar is moving up here. Pre-market movers so far to keep an eye on. Talon Energy up 9.38%. Applied Materials 7.42. Lam Research up. Seeing ENTG and Tegris, I'm not very familiar with them, up about 12%. And on the chip sector, staying there, KLAC. So most of the leaders today are the semis coming into the house. As Steve mentioned, CoreWeave catching a nice little bid today. Nuclear energy also catching a bid. VST Vistra up about 2.39. And some of the miners, they've been so much movement there. We see ALAB Astera, wrong one. LITE rather, Lithium Holdings up about 2.38 here. Storage also getting a bid today. Seagate up about 3.3%. So it does look like the broader technology sector might be the sector to watch today, Steve.
Yeah, and the Qs are pushing up here going into this.
Advanced decline popping up nicely, up over 1,100 to the upside. When I looked earlier this morning, that was only about 400. So we are moving up throughout the day. Nice little move here. Steve, NATO's putting forces in Greenland. What do you think there?
Well, I think Marco Rubio is about to march over to The Hague and go offer $700 billion for Greenland. And I think if they don't take it, that I think we'll put boots to the ground too.
Okay.
With no current position, any thoughts on Netflix here? I'm buyer of Netflix. I think Netflix is undervalued. I think Netflix is totally undervalued here. And we know that. We've heard several companies talk about that. We're going to hear some really good numbers coming out of Stranger Things. That is heavily watched. And they're also spending less money because they're actually buying international films, which I like. I'm glad to see some. I like some things that are international too. I like international things that are done in English, not done by dubbing or by the bottom of the screen CC closed captioning. But we heard the new numbers now. Anybody want to guess what the new numbers of people watch? Even English speaking movies that are in America, how many people are actually watching closed captioning on their TV, including myself? Is 62%. 62% of people watching TV are actually watching it with closed captioning on. So what does it tell you? That they're not quite watching the TV. They're not paying complete attention. And we're seeing a little bit of a move back up now on Meta as it continues. Yeah, highs of the morning here as Qs are pushing.
The highs of the morning pumping going into the open. So it does look like we want to get a little bit of strength here going into the open. Tick slightly positive, advanced decline, like I said, up almost 1,150 here. SPY moved up. It's now up 63 basis points and moving to highs of the day. So, Steve, do you trust this, or you think we see a quick sell-off here?
No, I think we push. I think with Iran being quiet now, I think this is a nice push here. I think you're going to see that.
Yep, can't argue with that at all from my side either.
And XAG, I'm sorry, silver. Sorry, I'm not used to saying silver all the time. XAG down 4.3%. Could be a push here. But expect more volatility in silver today.
Right, absolutely.
All right, we got about 30 seconds.
1 minute here to the open. 1 minute to the open. Let me grab my charts up here.
And Costco is still pushing higher here, Howard. I mean, it's just.
Yep. It continues to move to the upside. We are open here. Woo, NVIDIA popped off there, started off.
A lot of sellers.
DSL at 309 here. It's 310, Steve, still moving to the upside.
And I am buying a little bit more Meta on this drop. I like that drop. There's a nice, stupid drop there. There we go. Thank you. And now I am long here on Meta. The reason it's happened that it's such a strong move on the open. That's the retail folks that are the wrong side of a trade, and they're trying to either get out or trying to get in. So we take advantage of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. VIX pretty steady here, 1577. First move on tick is to the positive side. Advanced decline jumped up to 2153 here. So nice little move to the upside. Gold back at 89.25, so sort of stabilizing here. Gold holding above 4,600. Looking pretty good. Bitcoin back at 96,800, so pulling back slightly here on the cash open. Oh, that rebound we saw across gas and oil here, Steve, has been sold off. WTI back at 59.19 and dropping here.
And I now took that profit there on Meta. That was a quick profit there. I love that move. Take advantage of it, folks. When you see those kind of moves there, oh yeah, ooh, nice move there. Very, very nice move. Take advantage of that. I did. Yeah, wow. Oof. Like that stuff.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Tick still slightly positive. Advanced decline slowing down slightly here.
My core weave up 8.5% here.
Nice. Yep, core weave's been running.
ZSL. Okay, and now we're seeing Meta mount. Now moving even higher. Exactly. My bad. Maybe I should have left it just a little bit longer, but that was a nice move. I like that. That was a nice move.
Galaxy Digital's had a nice little run here the last few days. Like Novogratz's company moving.
Yeah, and MSTR, another one. I think you're seeing that. So
yeah, the crypto adjacent names are taking it a little bit here today, though. See, most of those names have gone negative here, except for Galaxy Digital and CoreWeave. Figure also up about 6.59% here today. Chips, we do see a little bit of selling off of TSM here on the open there. So a little profit taking there on TSM.
Yeah, Netflix pushing now as well as Meta, as Qs are now pushing.
And with that being said, though, those sympathy names are still moving to the upside. MAAT up 8.6%. Lam Research still up 7.61%. And CLAC CLAC up 7.98% still so far this morning. Talon Energy holding up pretty well here, up about 9% today also. So we're still seeing strength there. Also, technology names on the, like I said, SanDisk and Seagate also having a pretty good day here, although a little bit of a pullback here on Seagate. There you go, VST running to the upside here. So nuclear still in the forefront here, up 4.37%.
Interestingly enough, I know that I'm probably going to get banged over this, but I have been buying SWASX. Well done, Zora. I'm going to put that in there so everybody can see what that's sometimes hard to understand. That's Schwab's mutual fund. It's their global real estate fund. I kind of like it down here. I have been buying it here, so I'm not telling you whether to buy or sell. Don't do that. But I have been adding to that fund. I do like that fund a lot. Hey, Peter, if you want to come in, man, come on in. I'll send you the link, my man.
There you go. Energy sector down about 1.19 this morning. That's the biggest laggard looking at the sectors. You also see healthcare down about 0.5 percentage point here. Communications down slightly, and so is the consumer staples sector. As we mentioned, big winner so far, technology up about 1.55%. We also see utilities and industrials having a nice day so far. So good little move across all of those.
I've also been buying some Franklin Templeton funds. I think everybody also put that in here too as well.
Do you see Google gone negative here on the day, dropping to the downside, down about half a percentage point?
Like I said, folks, this is oversized positions trade. Turn off your goddamn charts and make some money. I think Zora's telling you that. She showed you that, right? The Q's dropped. It's right now. This is a common sense market, right? You make a little bit of money, out you go. There goes Meta, right? Meta had been beaten up. That wasn't a chart process. That was literally a common sense thing. 619 now on Meta, up almost $4. Now that would make me really happy, but I didn't do that. But that's what I'm saying to people. And I love my charts. My charts are sitting right in front of me, but my charts aren't telling me that right now. My charts are telling me that the market's wacky right now. People are scared, and that's what's happening. NVIDIA up 2%, 620 now on Meta, right? Meta had been beaten up. Charts didn't show me that.
Steve, the charts absolutely did. It filled the gap to the downside, and it bounced directly at it. To
some people, it might have, but truthfully, it did not. It's not laying it out for you as a play of a day or a trade, right? It's not. Listen, I've been doing this for 35 years. It didn't show me that. What it showed me was that Meta was getting beat up for no reason whatsoever.
Well, that's why you maybe took the trade, but the chart does show you. It filled the gap to the downside. It broke through VWAP, exploded, retested, exploded off of it, broke on the hourly chart above the key.
All right, I'm going to pull up an hour chart.
200 SMA.
All right, I'm going to pull up an hour. I'm going to pull up an hour chart. I'm going to do it right now. So I explained it. What I
bounced off the bottom of the linear. All the things you talk about. It hit it. Look at the 3-minute chart that you always talk about. And the daily on all three of them, it's got technical analysis that would tell you to look.
As soon as my charts come up here, I'll pull it up for you. I'll trading. Hopefully, I can do that for us.
And now it's failing right at the 200 SMA on the hourly chart.
Yeah, pull up my super chart here. And of course, I pay for massive charting, so. I have access to literally everything. One symbol. There we go. All right, let's go to Meta. Pull up a monthly chart.
Oh, I don't look at monthly charts.
Yes. All right. So let me show you. Oh, sorry, my bad. All right. So let me show you what I looked at. Hopefully that's coming up there, Hondo, for you. And if you need to make it bigger, folks, you make it bigger. This is my charting, right? I have changed the charting over time. And as I always say, if your charts look exactly the same as it did a month ago, then you're probably doing it wrong. I went online, and I made a point to this. I did it on my own with my QM BigBeat Twitter handle. I said this, but I was long on Meta. This is my new thing, right? Meta. Here's why. I laid it out for my lines. This is not a 30-day, 50-day, 100-day, 200-day, whatever day trading thing you want to trade. I laid the lines out based on the past. I also laid it out by Elliott Wave, right? Because I thought Elliott Wave was definitely working quite nicely with this one. Now I'm gonna pull it back a little bit farther so you can actually see what I'm looking at. Charts don't add. They're not adding up. This is a monthly chart. It does not add up. So I'm change it out. It hit my numbers when I started playing with this, right? So I figured out where we were. Now, Howard was talking about the hourly chart. So let's flip an hourly chart. Saying that it filled the gap. He's right. But that's not exactly what happened. Now you can see it's outside of my lines. So this did not show me back where the support is, because there's support there. There's no support in here. That's grandma's land. That's no man's land. Right? That shouldn't happen. My past lines are what told me what's happening. But why did I buy Meta? It was not because of any of the things I charted. I bought Meta because of the thesis behind it, that he is investing in AI and he knows what he's doing, and he's got Instagram and he's able to talk about it. So I liked it. I thought the selling here was overdone. And you can see where the selling happened 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That breakaway. Now, if I were to really add on the charts that I really think's happening, and I'm going to do it for everybody here. Okay. So for those of you who don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to show it to you. I use Andrew's pitchfork. So you click on the pitchfork down there, above the bottom, and you pull it up. All right. And then you bring it back. There's your lines. So now all of a sudden, that's charting on one. That's charting 101. Not charting. We're not even college level charting yet. I'll show you college level charting. And all of a sudden, you're seeing that we're out of lines. Again, nothing to prove to me that I should be buying this stock. Nothing on charting. Nothing technically tells me I should be doing that. Now, I can make the line. Listen, folks, I can make it work. That's the misnomer of charting, is I can take my lines and make it work for me to make it. That's what charting does, right? Yeah, I can take all kinds of lines that, well, not the 50-day, 200-day, 100-day. This is it. Look at your RSI on your 1 hour. That turned for me. Now, is that technical analysis? Yes.
Yes. Everything that you just said is technical analysis that you use to make your decision.
No, it's not. Because none of that made my decision. I can lay it all out there. I can show you all the points of why technical analysis can be laid on this. But I did not buy it. Not one reason did I buy it because of technical analysis. But I can make the charts work for me. And that's the problem with a lot of people. They're trying to make the charts work for them. And I love charting, obviously. Most of you don't even know what a CCI is. That's for volatile times, right? You need volatile times. This is volatile. But the reality check here is the volume is not nearly as loud and as proud as it has been. So none of
volatility at Meta's in a year's low. The ATR is at a year's low. So volatility is not there.
Now you got it. That's right, Steve.
That's all technical analysis. That's all on my chart.
Steve, like I just told you, it's just one tool in your toolkit, and I agree with that.
Absolutely is one tool, right? Fundamental. I'm a fundamental trader, as you know,
yes,
not
you
a technical.
Yeah.
So that's there, but when you say that, everything that you can talk about from a psychology angle is a technical analysis.
This is a daily chart.
So now it's a visual interpretation of the market.
That's right. It's a personal. Now that is the key. That's the key, Howard, is the psychology behind this. It's not just technical analysis, and the fundamental issue, and also a thesis. That is why I bought it, not for one specific reason. I did not buy it because of a charting. I did not buy it because of the news. I did not buy it because of it's all of it. You have to create a thesis and explain it to everybody. If you cannot do that, if the only reason you're buying a stock is because of charts, stop trading. Stop trading. If that's the only reason you're doing it is because I only understand charts or I'm watching someone charting, that is wrong. You need to understand why you're involved in it. And it makes it better if you're actually a person who, and in my case, I do understand technology because I'm in it every day. I understand AI because I live it. That's the difference. I know what's happening. If you are a home builder, you better be trading home building stocks, right? Because you have an advantage. The key to the market is where do you have an advantage? And some people are very good at charting, and that's where their advantage is. And they should be because they're really good at charting, and they're going to sell you charting. They're going to sell you, hey, take my course because I am a chartist. Well, that's great. And I agree with that. And you need to do it because you need to learn charting. But if that's the only tool in your toolkit, you got it wrong. If the only tool in your toolkit is psychology, it's wrong. It's about creating a thesis around everything. The psychology, if you're looking at stock twits, love stock twits, right? Because it gives you a psychology of what everybody else is doing. So you get a better feel. But I'm not buying it because someone on stock twits told me to buy Netflix. Or to buy Meta, right? And look, folks, this isn't something that I learned in one day. This is something I learned over 35 years of trading. Steve Flanagan, 40 years of trading, right? Peter Thomas, 40 years of trading. They didn't learn it because his charts told you silver was going to explode. He told you silver was going to explode because institutions are buying it, because major countries are buying it, because there were problems in the world, and it exploded. The retail did not get really involved in silver until 55 and 60 when I was already getting out. I bought it at 19. I didn't buy silver any other reason because I knew that there was buying. Peter Thomas told you that. That's the difference. That's what I'm trying to tell people is you need to understand the markets as a whole, not as one side of the market.
Absolutely.
Now I'll get off my soapbox, but I think a lot of people just don't understand that the retail it's all about, oh, it's my charts show me the 50-day moving. I don't do anything on this 50-day moving average. I don't do anything on this. That is nonsense. And you should stop talking. You should not be teaching. You should be shutting up and listening to people who actually have been doing this for years so that you become a better trader. That's what I'm telling people. And here we go. And look, it's very simple. Meta's up. When you saw it on a lot of places saying Meta's going to go to 600. Why is it going to 600? Well, I don't know, because that's what my chart tells me. Your chart doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't talk to you. It's not speaking to you. You have to interpret it and based on what everybody else is thinking.
Market has turned around while Steve's talking. It doesn't like the way he's speaking to
doesn't
it.
like me, I guess.
Down, we see the ticks back down at 466. Excuse me, advanced decline back at 466. Ticks gone negative here. Qs have moved back to the downside, trying to bounce, trying to stay right around that 25,890 area. The Qs 626.09 right now, holding above VWAP, so that keeps us slightly positive here.
Well, I mean, Senator Wyden now asking for a Bank of New York melon to Epstein probe. I mean, we're starting to see some news coming out. I mean, that's a big piece of news, right? Bank of New York melon Epstein probe is it's huge, right? That means that this Epstein thing is bigger than we think it is. And your charts didn't tell you that Senator Wyden, he didn't tell you that was doing that. And that news just crushed the market, right? So, those are little things you got to be careful about that pulls into it.
You think that news crushed the market?
Yes, because banks. You're talking about banks now. There's more deeper into it than we think. And I agree with this. I think this is huge. And we're hearing also this could also be another reason too, but the U.S. military has seized another oil tanker. And I don't think it's a big deal. I think we've got oil tankers. But I mean, there goes the dollar, 99.46. Charts didn't tell you that. Told you that the dollar was going to go higher. Steve Flanagan, 40 years of trading, told you that the dollar was going to go higher. Big money coming in here. That's what I think is happening here.
Well, the dollar dropped on that Epstein news.
Actually, we're now, I'm looking at the dollar continue to push higher here. 1 hour still up a little bit, but yeah.
The last 5 minutes it's turned.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Look, and Bitcoin took a massive drop, 97 to 95.7. It's 1,500 point drop there. So, there's a lot of nonsense going on in the market. That's what I'm saying. Larry Fink now says that he does not believe there's an AI bubble by any imagination, according to CNBC. He's on CNBC right now. For those of you who don't know, he is talking. That's BlackRock's CEO.
NASDAQ continuing to slide down a little bit here, only up 94 basis points here. Qs are up still over a point a little bit. The RUT is up 40 basis points. Small caps holding up pretty well so far. Ticks turn slightly positive again. And we do
NVIDIA, AMD, the tech sector. We talk about this, the chip sector is all up. Everybody's up.
Yep, they are. NVIDIA now up 3%, continuing to move to the upside here. TSM, after taking some profit, seeing some profit taking, moving back to the upside also. So again, chips and semi strong so far. Again, CLAC, LRCX, some of the leaders out there, AMAT.
I'm going to buy some of this. I'm buying some Bitcoin here, folks, because I think that drop is nonsense.
BlackRock's up 4.37% off of their earnings, so they continue to move to the upside here. Same thing, JP Morgan up 1.06%. So looks like that Wyden tweet only has certain banks getting hit here. The majority of them actually moving to the upside still.
I don't know if I can move fast enough here. Let's.
Meta's gone negative on the day now. So you've got Microsoft, Google, Meta negative on the day. NVIDIA pulling back from those highs of the morning. So we are seeing it start to turn to the downside a little bit. Chips are trying to recover, but we do see some selling here across the board. Bitcoin bouncing nicely at 96 here. Nice little bounce right there. Ethereum still holding up pretty well, 33.
Yeah, and I bought Bitcoin here on that drop there. I love that drop there. That was nice.
And Solana holding up at 144 here so far.
Yeah, that drop was nice. 95. I bought it 95,750 there. Yeah,
a nice little move up by some of the early morning laggards. Intel now up almost 2% on the day. And O Realty income has gone from a laggard to up about 0.7 of a percentage point here this morning. We still see weakness around the oil companies. Chevron down about 80 basis points. Oxy down 2.1. Devon Energy down about 2.5 here. So
yeah, that's a good point. I love Devon Energy. Devon Energy is a really good company. We talked about O. When institutions are moving money into O, they can't find alpha anywhere else. That's where they go to. If those of you don't know, the real estate they pay a nice dividend. I don't have the numbers in front of me, Howard, if you can help me there. They do that because they are where the Wendy's and the Walmarts that don't buy their land, they use theirs, right? And that's what ticker O does.
27 cents on a $60 stock.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good return actually and it's paid monthly, by the way. So that's always a reason why they go like that.
Absolutely.
BlackRock CEO Fink says, I will be spending time with Trump in Davos next week. For those of you who don't know, I am not going to Davos this year. It's a first in a while. I mean, not going. I've got a lot going on here, as everybody knows. But I'll be going back next year. So I'm kind of glad I'm not really going this year.
We do see NVIDIA holding up at 188 here or so. Tesla trying to get back above the 443 handle. Apple's gone positive on the day. Amazon had been up on the news of that, I guess you want to call it sovereign cloud news, but that's now pulled back.
And that Meta drop is nice there. I might buy it back there. I'm not sure yet, but I might buy it back.
Do see energy as a laggard still. We'd still see consumer staples as a laggard, communication and healthcare. Biggest movers is still technology to the upside so far. And we do see industrials making a nice move to the upside, up about 82 basis points so far today.
With oil there now, again, down so much this morning. I'm back now below 59. 59.24 now. It was at 62. That volatility in oil tells you a lot. It also means that a lot of people either dumped it or the firms also dumped it as well. With Iran backing off, that's interesting. So the oil markets are something you want to watch for geopolitical. They have PhD level people watching the oil markets for these firms, right? Be very careful. They're the ones who are paying attention, and if they're dumping their oil because they think oil is too high, there goes Meta right back up, right? Again, not a chart thing. It was based on the news and right back up. So I missed that bounce there, but 96.2 now on Bitcoin as I bought at 95.8, right? Outsized moves are happening. Volatility creates opportunity. That's what's happening right now. So when you see this outsized move down to the downside because paper is happening, what I mean by that, derivatives, your options derivatives, your futures prices that Howard talks about, perps a lot of times. Howard tells you all the time, listen to those perps. He's right on target with these perps. He knows that's what's moving the markets right now. Look at that, 618 already back on Meta. Damn it, I missed it. And that was too easy for me, to be honest with you. My bad, Howard. There, I missed that one. 96.3 now on Bitcoin. $500, and boom. That's what's happening in this market. It's so oversized positioning, and volatility is creating that opportunity. If something gets beaten up really bad, buy it. If something's getting pushed to the high, like silver, sell it. That's what we do. That's real trading. And guess what? On a higher level, institutions don't care where you're trading or retail is trading. Institutions have their own reasons for their own trades. Because I bought silver at 19, and JP Morgan bought a bunch of silver at $7 an ounce back in the day. It's sitting in their vaults. They can't wait to sell it to you at $91 an ounce. It's so bad the U.S. Mint had to stop selling silver because they couldn't understand, right? So that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Steve, we're about 4 minutes from the hour. Do you think we turn back around here? It looks like the Qs are trying to move to the upside. S&P, same thing, trying to bounce off the lows of the morning. What do you think?
I think it's like what I've been saying. I think it's outsized moves. So if you see one way or the other, take advantage of it. Do
you think we just chop up and down, but we stay about the same spot?
Joe Kunkel, if you don't know, Joe Kunkel is options hawk, and I keep my eye on options hawk there. An SPX large seller here. So I'm going to post this for you here. There's been a large SPX opening seller for February 5,300 puts, 10,000 of them. He paid $293. So if you don't understand that line, SPX, all right, opening seller. So he's selling puts to you. All right, what does that mean? Does that mean he's bullish or bearish? He's selling puts. He's bullish, or he's protecting himself on something. Somebody did, right? At 5,300 is the strike price, and 10,000 of them. So whatever number you see there, you multiply that by 100, and then you multiply it by the price. That is an absolute huge purchase there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a monster buy. That is not retail. Tick slightly negative here. Advanced decline is sort of bottomed out, but right under 1,000 there. And, Q's back below 1%.
And Meta's at 619.
Up about a 0.5 percentage point. So like Steve said, we're seeing choppiness, but return to the mean right now. We'll see if that works out. Steve, any of the sectors, what sectors you think carry strength? Does technology carry through the day?
Chip sector. I mean, we've heard that a million times. The chip sector is doing quite well. It's strong. And you're hearing that from the big boys, right? The Jeff Bezoses of the world, Elon Musk. They are not stopping buying chips, right? And that's putting all of us at a disadvantage because those chips go up and up and up. And Elon said it, right? Hey, if silver prices go high, it's harder on us to make chips. And so guess what? They got to raise the price. And guess what? They make more money and their margins go higher. And that's why chips are moving higher. Yep. So they're in a perfect storm to go higher here, not a bad storm here.
Absolutely. Okay, for Quasar Markets Live, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow morning. Watch for that rebound on crypto.